Thank you.
Hello. This is a public hearing in the matter of the proposed adoption of new rule pertaining to the implementation of the Montana Real-Time Network. Amendments to rules 10.102.101 through 10.102.1.9106 pertaining to the Montana Geospatial Information Act. The adoption of a new rule and amendment to Rule 10.102.4003 pertaining to direct state aid to public libraries for per capita and for per square mile served. Amendments to Rule 10.102.1158 pertaining to library board governance and working with the director. And amendments to Rule 10.102.1160 pertaining to personnel. My name is Robin Scribner. I am the chair of the State Library Commission, and I have been designated to preside over and conduct this hearing. I am joined here today by Montana State Library Commissioners, I believe, Elsie Arnson, Tom Burnett, Carmen Cuthbertson, Tammy Hall, Brian Rossman, and Peggy Taylor. Also joining us is State Librarian Jenny Stapp. I will present information pertinent to all hearings now. The Montana Administrative Procedure Act requires me to read the notice of function of the Administrative Rule Review Committee. Notice of function of Administrative Rule Review Committee, Interim Committees, and the Environmental Quality Council. Administrative Rule Review is a function of interim committees and the Environmental Quality Council. It will be called the EQC from now on. These interim committees and the EQC have administrative rule review, program evaluation, and monitoring functions for the executive branch agencies and the entities attached to agencies for administrative purposes. The Education Interim Committee has oversight with regard to rule changes proposed by the Montana State Library Commission. Interim committees and the EQC have the authority to make recommendations to an agency regarding the adoption, amendment, or repeal of a rule, or to request that the agency prepare a statement of the estimated economic impact of a proposal. They also may poll the members of the legislature to determine if a proposed rule is consistent with the intent of the legislature, or during a legislative session, introduce a bill repealing a rule or directing an agency to adopt or amend a rule, or a joint resolution recommending that an agency adopt, amend, or repeal a rule. The interim committees and the EQC welcome comments and invite members of the public to appear before them or to send written statements in order to bring to their attention any difficulties with the existing or proposed rules. The mailing address is P.O. Box 201706, Helena, Montana 59620-1706. The Montana State Library keeps a list of interested people who wish to receive notices of rulemaking actions proposed by the agency. If you want to add your name to the mailing list, you may sign up in this register today. Or you can send a written request at any time to Genevieve Lighthizer, P.O. Box 201800, Helena, Montana 59620. Her phone number is 406-444-3115. Email is Lighthizer, GLIGHTHISER@mt.gov. At this hearing, any concerned person may submit data, views, or arguments orally or in writing. Written testimony carries the same weight as the oral testimony presented today. The comments should, if you have had written a letter, the comments would have been directed to Genevieve Lighthizer at the Montana State Library, and the address was already given. The Secretary of State published the proposed rules and notice of hearing in the 2023 Montana Administrative Register issue 21 on November 3rd, 2023. Copies were sent to interested persons and organizations, and copies are available here today. The purpose of this hearing is to collect testimony on the rules proposed for adoption and amendment. If you want to recommend specific changes in language, please submit them in writing if possible. All witnesses must sign the witness register. Please identify yourself for the record at the beginning of your testimony. State your name and who you represent. I will accept oral testimony in this order. Proponents first, opponents second, others present, and waiting to be heard third. Your testimony should include your complete statement. There will be no rebuttal or additional statements given by any witnesses unless I request it. As presiding officer, I may question or examine witnesses. At this time, I will open the hearings and now take testimony on the proposed adoption of new rules for the Montana Real-Time Network. Are there any proponents?
There are no hands up.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, there's one hand up. This is about the real-time network, the GIS real-time network, and the guest is Dave Ingram.
Go ahead, Dave. We can't hear you if you're trying to talk.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I have a question, Ms. Scribner. I just want to know, is this any proponent of any of the administrative rules, or just a specific one?
Right at this point, we are doing the Montana Real-Time Network.
I'm sorry. I have no comment. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. Okay. Seeing there are no proponents, we'll go on. Are there opponents?
There are no hands up.
Okay. Okay, are there others wishing to be heard?
No hands up.
Okay, seeing that nobody wishes to offer any further comments on the Montana Real-Time Network rules at this time, I hereby close this public hearing, and I will open the hearing and now take testimony on the proposed amendments to rules 10.102.9101 through 10.102.9106 pertaining to the Montana Geospatial Information Act. Are there proponents?
No hands up.
Okay. Are there opponents?
No hands up.
Are there others wishing to be heard?
No hands up.
Okay. Seeing that nobody wishes to offer any further comments on the amendments to rules 10.102.9101 through 10.102.9106 pertaining to the Montana Geospatial Information Act at this time, I hereby close this public hearing, and I will open the hearing and now take testimony on the adoption of a new rule and amendment to Rule 10.102.4003 pertaining to direct state and to public libraries for per capita and for per square mile served. Are there proponents?
There are no hands up.
Are there opponents?
There are no hands up.
Are there others wishing to be heard?
There are no hands up.
Okay. Seeing that nobody wishes to offer any further comments on a new rule and amendment to Rule 10.102.4003 pertaining to direct state aid to public libraries for per capita and for per square mile served at this time, I hereby close this public hearing, and I will open the hearing and now take testimony on amendments to Rule 10.102.1158 Library Board Governance and working with the director. Are there proponents?
There are no hands up.
Are there opponents?
There are no hands up.
Are there others wishing to be heard?
There are no hands up.
Seeing that nobody wishes to offer any further comments on amendments to Rule 10.102.1158 Library Board Governance and working with the director at this time, I hereby close this public hearing, and I will open the hearing and now take testimony on amendments to Rule 10.102.1160 pertaining to personnel. Are there proponents?
Okay, so we've got Dave Ingram has his hand up.
Hey, Dave?
Okay. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Forgive my voice. My name is David Ingram. I am a trustee at the Flathead County, speaking for myself. I wanted to thank the Commission for dropping the requirement that large libraries only have MLS-prepared librarians as their directors. By removing this has the effect of equalizing the opportunities for both large and small libraries to employ whomever they see fit and return this decision to the local community. Interestingly, the new handbook created by the state library implies about the only real management decision trustees can make is to choose the director. Then this decision is effectively controlled by the current state standards, which essentially forces large libraries to select an ALA certified candidate. The MCA 22-1-309 gives the trustees a much broader description of their collective power, authority, and responsibilities. I would also like to address some of the arguments used to support this requirement in the past. Yes, it is true that this decision currently is most important to our library, but I dare say it won't be the last. Further, the removal of this requirement in no way impacts the ability of other communities to hire as they see fit and select candidates with credentials most important to them while returning ultimate control to the local level. It has also been stated that the smaller libraries depend on the larger libraries as a resource. So the large libraries should shoulder the cost of additional requirements with their larger budgets. This progressive perspective is at odds with equal treatment to me and our county's taxpayers. I am a supporter of the federation concept to share information within regions and would encourage the Commission to continue to foster the use of the federations as a tool to improve trustee training and knowledge sharing. Additionally, I would posit that it is the state library's mission to be the main informational consultative resource for both small and large libraries, with its deep bench of librarians to assist all libraries with their various needs and concerns. I have found them very helpful with this in the past. Finally, when reporting the library survey results or task force recommendations as representative of the quote-unquote library community, the question becomes, what library community? The survey and task force results are overwhelmingly those of library directors and staff, with minimal input of trustees and patrons. This calls into question the validity of its conclusions as being
24
those
seconds.
of the resident at large. Once again, I want to thank the commissioners for their desire to return control to the local level whenever possible and removing ALA dominance in the hiring process. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Are there more proponents?
Let me check. There are no more hands up.
Are there opponents?
Okay, we've got one hand up and it is Matt.
Matt?
They introduced, oh, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Judy Meadows, and I'm the chair of the Lewis and Clark Library Board of Trustees. I am compelled to read the following letter signed by the directors of the Great Falls Public Library, Lewis and Clark Library, Butte Silver Bow Library, Billings Public Library, Bozeman Public Library, Bitterroot Public Library in Hamilton, and the Missoula Public Library. Montana State Library Commission. At your meeting on October 11th, you left many in the Montana library community feeling disappointed and dismayed. The signatories of this letter are writing to convey our concerns about the Commission's decision to bypass the recommendations of the Public Library Standards Task Force and eliminate the requirement for a professional graduate MLS degree for directors of libraries serving a population of 25,000 people or more. This standard has been in place for nearly 50 years, and no one has questioned the updated standards when they were adopted 2 years ago. There are many reasons in favor of keeping the MLIS standard. The state connects high standards to its ongoing financial investment in public libraries. The purpose of the standards is to incentivize local investment in staffing and services so that all Montanans can access quality library services. Undermining the standard at the request of one library can be the first step down the slippery slope, undermining any and all standards. The standards exist to ensure quality. Local control is not a standard. Library boards have the right to exercise local control by choosing whether or not to meet the standards. The role of the commission should be to encourage excellence. The only reason this standard was limited to libraries serving a population of 25,000 or more is out of recognition that our smallest libraries may not have the tax base to support the salary necessary to hire a degreed librarian. But 13 Montana libraries have hired degreed librarians as directors, despite serving fewer than 25,000. Some of the smallest are Columbus and Ekalaka. Government is overwhelmingly in support of keeping the standard as it is. Other libraries are successfully recruiting degreed staff. Most recently, Missoula's 3 finalists all had their MLS degrees. People across Montana love and hold dear their public libraries, which have a long and proud history of serving their communities. We do not feel the commission has served Montana library users in this matter. Their actions felt like a subtly subversive and political attack on Montana libraries. According to the state website, the role of the commission. Out of time.
Chair can choose to extend.
What?
Let's go to the next.
That's the only hand up at this time.
Okay, go ahead. You can finish then.
Go ahead and finish.
Okay.
Thank you.
According to the state website, the role of the Montana Library Commission is to set forth policies and funding priorities that empower the state library to meet its mission and statutory obligations, and to advocate for the state library and the Montana library and information communities whenever possible. We ask that you take seriously your duty to advocate for libraries and information communities. We ask that you reconsider your decision to eliminate the graduate requirement from the public library standards. Thank you for your time and giving me the extra time, and thank you for your attention.
Are there any more opponents?
There are no other hands up.
Okay, are there others wishing to be heard?
There are no hands up.
Seeing that nobody wishes to offer any further comments on amendments to Rule 10.102.1160 pertaining to personnel at this time, I hereby close this public hearing. The Montana State Library Commission will consider these comments at their meeting on December 6th, 2023. Thank you, everyone.